Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Appreciate you coming out. A lot going on. I have a lot to discuss. Pay attention. I'm only going to do this once. So my son and I recently looked at this machine when he was over. He had rectified a couple of things for me. We were able to start this easily, so it was questionable why it was put to the curb. Put to the curb because the front wheel drive was in up. Somebody had, looks like a, no, not a new cable, it's rusty. The spring pulled through the deck here. I was going to drill another hole and reconnect the spring, but there's more issues than that with this thing. I decided to tear it down today and try to rectify the front wheel drive, and I kind of ran into a huge issue. I didn't know it was this bad. We could tell the wheels were floppy, and I think on the other side the adjuster had a big crack in it, I had noticed. So the deal is you could see the bearings here totally rusted to the metal here. You tap the bearing set into here and you can pop them out through the other side with a chisel, but totally rusted here. And the center cartridge where the bearing sits has slid down the axle here and is right there. You could see it. Bearings go in that little channel. This whole thing is slid down the axle to there. So it was a son of a gun to get these off. The nuts were extremely rusty. They call for a 12 millimeter. A couple of them I had to put an 11 millimeter socket on it. They were so rusted down. This side here, I'm down to one that I can't get off. I had an 11 on here and it's stripping off. So this drive shaft is done. Looking at this one, you can see the amount of meat that's been worn off. Big difference in meat from right here where it hadn't touched to right here. This thing was just dancing up and down. Every bump you hit on the grass, it was wearing a little bit of metal off. You could tell the difference. This side isn't so bad. There's enough meat on here for me to use. So this whole thing has to come off. And I had said before I had a 675 Kohler with I think 20 pounds PSI. I had gone through the carb and wasted a bunch of time and ended up the engine was shot. And I think I found a donor. It's a Kohler powered machine, same style front end with the plastic transmission. But the whole deck here is caved in and rusted. So I can use the engine on that other project, and when I have it all apart, I'll steal the front end and come over here and bolt this on. I actually broke the C clip here to get it off. It was so rusted. So my theory is not even to mess with pounding these out. Go to that other machine and use all the front end components, put new bearings on that front end, and don't even waste my time with this. It's like a truck from Indiana or South Dakota. Rusty, rusty, rusty. Ask me how I know. I bought a GMC truck, which I'm driving now. Came from South Dakota. Spent 5 years there, and that was enough to rust through the brake lines. I replaced every stinking brake line on that truck. What a bear. So that's that. on this. I got work to do while I was out here pounding away with a hammer to break this thing loose. Guy showed up. He had stopped a few weeks ago and said he was going to come back the same day. He used a translator on his phone. I didn't understand a word he said. He said he had a generator, or I think a pressure washer, from his sister, and he said it wouldn't recoil. So he pulled up, and I didn't recognize him at first, but he grabbed this and I knew who the dude was. So this has got a 212cc. I think it was a generator, actually. So a Chinese hunk of junk. So he pulled this and the string just wouldn't retract. So we did some more translating on the phone. He says, how much? I says, I don't know if I can even rewind the spring, or if the spring is broken. I says, I don't know. I says, come mañana. So he's going to come back tomorrow. I think I can rectify it. I kind of looked around at my dead recoils, and I come up with a couple of solutions. So I'm going to spend some time on this today. I found this Honda GCV style pull cord, so recoil. The deal with this one, that one of the tabs here broke off. It was a 3-tabber, so I'm sure I rectify it with a new one. So there's about the similar size. I'm thinking maybe the spring on this, it is working. It's got tension. If it wasn't for this broken off, I could have rewound this and used it. So that's an option. Then I grabbed a Briggs & Stratton recoil. I could steal the spring off of this. The tabs on the end aren't broken. And then I found this rusty and crusty, probably a Briggs. Same thing. We got a L bend, and we need that L bend. The deal with his, I'll show you. The end of the spring here flattened out. There's no Z bend here. So I could try manipulating the spring, but when you try bending this tempered steel, it just ends up breaking. It's very difficult to manipulate these into place. I suppose you could heat them up, but I've never done that. I've always looked for used ones. You go to try to make your bend in this, and it snaps off, and then you go up a little bit more and that snaps off. So that's that on that. I'll work on his recoil. If I can't do anything with it, I'll just give it back to him, put it all back together. But I think I can. This might be my savior on this Honda. Just remove that screwed up one, wind this one up, put it in place, and I'll be good to go. Put the guts back in, and I'll be happy. Happy as a pappy. So over the weekend, I was kind of on AliExpress and Temu checking out lawnmowers, what they were bringing in price. And they're getting expensive. Just the little baby 20s like this with the adjustable wheels. You got to manually adjust them to 125, 300 E baby 20. I got this one for 130. These are running similar one at Walmart, $249, then it goes to $299 at Lowe's. So I did a Google search. I put in 20-inch Briggs & Stratton push mower, and I got a hit for Sabre Sales in beautiful El Paso, Texas. They had a bunch of lawnmowers listed. A lot of them said we'll ship from manufacturer, so they just place an order with John Deere or whoever, and it ships from the factory. Well, they had three of these baby 20s in stock, and they were reduced, I think, from $279 down to $249. And I thought, holy crap, that's a good price in today's market. They were Boland's 20-inch green, same as what I showed you on the Yard Machine, only a green deck, 125cc. It said 3 remaining, $149 each, $33 shipping for all 3. So that came to $480 total with shipping included. I broke it down. It's $160 per unit, which is still a good deal. So I placed an order online, used my credit card. Day later, come back, order canceled, potential fraudulent transaction. I think they were wondering why I wanted 3 lawnmowers. My bank didn't do anything. It was Sabre Sales in El Paso canceled me. So I emailed them, no response. I ended up calling the sales office, talked to a nice guy, said my order was canceled. What can you do for me? Can I give you my credit card over the phone? Nope. It's got to be all online. I says, how do I know if it's going to go through or you're going to cancel it on me again? And he says, I'll keep an eye on it or look out for it. So within 10 minutes, I placed another order and it hasn't kicked back yet. So I'm going to have 3 Bolands showing up with the price of $160. So same Bolands at Lowe's, $299, Home Depot, $279. Wally World doesn't have the Bolands, but they've got a Cenex, which I bought before, another cheap baby 20 machine, and they wanted $249 for that. So I'm happy at $160. Had a guy message me yesterday, said he was going to come out for I got a Power Smart 20-inch cut with a Briggs & Stratton on it. I had bought 5 or 6 last year, real cheap. I got it listed for $260 and he didn't show up, so I'll put that back in storage. Unfortunately, I dragged it out. He was a no-show. So you get that. That's what happens, no-shows. So that's my update. Toro work here. We're going to take care of this Spanish guy. 95% sure I can come up with something to make this work. And then we're going to wait for, don't know the delivery company, but they're going to be delivering 3 Bolands machines for me in the next few days. So that's the update. You guys have a good day today. Appreciate you coming out. No repair today. Today was show and tell, talkie time. Come on, Dino. Get with the program. Everybody's lined up except for you. What's the deal? Get serious about small engine and small engine repairs. You guys have a good day. Thanks. Tip your waitress and wait staff. Adios, amigos. Inquiring minds want to know what model this is. I'll give it to you even though I did a video on it. 20377 Toro Corp, beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. And I think this was a 2018, if I'm not mistaken. 2019 on this one. Date of birth, 12th month, 19th day, 2019. So almost a Christmas baby on this fine Kohler XT675. Okay, see you.